You know that moment, late at night, when your eyes burn from studying and the world outside seems miles away, but you still can't sleep? That's exactly where this story begins. Welcome to Dark Whispers. Jenny Parker was a sophomore at a Midwestern college, cramming for finals in her cramped dorm room. The window stood cracked open, letting in a whisper of autumn breeze that rustled her papers. Her desk lamp cast long, trembling shadows on the walls. It was almost midnight when she heard it, soft footsteps padding down the hallway. She froze. Her roommate was away visiting family and the building was supposed to be quiet. Heart hammering, Jenny pressed her ear against the door. There it was again. Knock, knock, knock. But at irregular intervals, as if someone hesitated between each rap. Then came a low, sibilant whisper she couldn't make out. Jenny. It seemed to sigh. She yanked herself under her blanket, pulling it over her head. The knocks turned frantic, closer now, until they thudded on the wood right above her head. The whispering stopped. Silence. Summoning her courage, she crept out from under the covers, every muscle trembling. She inched toward the door and peered through the peephole. Only pitch-black corridor staring back. "Who's there?" she squeaked, voice cracking. No answer. Jenny backed away, heart rattling in her chest, and tried to return to her textbooks. But every time she reached for a page, the whisper returned, louder, more urgent. "Jenny, help me." She spun around. The corner of her room stood empty, until she caught movement in the mirror above her dresser. There, standing behind her reflected self, was a pale little girl in a Victorian nightgown, hair plastered to her cheeks as if soaked in tears. Her eyes were dark hollows, empty, sorrowful, and fixed on Jenny. Jenny shrieked and stumbled back, tumbling over her chair. The mirror girl lifted a hand, beckoning, slow, deliberate. Jenny scrambled to her feet, adrenaline surging. The kid in the mirror was real. She moved. "This can't be happening," Jenny gasped, fumbling for her phone's flashlight. Light flooded the corner of the room. Empty. No girl. The reflection in the mirror showed Jenny's own terrified face. But in the very edge of the frame, she swore she saw that nightgown again, flickering like a dying candle. Her breathing ragged, Jenny forced herself forward. "Who are you?" she whispered to the mirror. The glass rippled, and the girl's mouth opened, silent words forming on wet lips. Jenny leaned closer, heart in her throat. The words scrawled across the mirror in dripping red letters. "I'm trapped." A tremor ran through Jenny's bones. She backed away until her heel caught on the rug. Down she went, head cracking against the floor. Stars danced, then darkness closed in. When she woke, morning light sliced across her desk. She sat up slowly, pressing a hand to her forehead. Everything felt different. She staggered to the mirror and gasped. There was no reflection. Panic clawed her chest. She tapped her cheek. Nothing. No reflection. At all. Even the glass beside her bed. Blank. Her heart thundered. She bolted for the window. Outside, students milled about on campus lawns. Normal, but inside, she felt the world had shifted on its axis. Jenny backed away from the glass, shaking. Then a voice, quiet and urgent, echoed in her mind. "You freed me." She staggered. The whisper sounded like the girl's voice, soft, frantic, pleading. She clasped her temples, fighting the panic. In her head, the girl continued. "I've been here 100 years. I need your help to go home." Jenny's rational mind screamed to run, to call security, to lock her door forever. But empathy, stronger than fear, pushed her forward. How? Jenny thought back. The whisper replied, "Take my hand." Against every instinct, Jenny reached toward the mirror. Her fingers met cold, hard glass. She felt something slip through, like mist wrapping around her palm. A jolt of energy shot up her arm and the world spun. She fell to her knees. When she opened her eyes, she was no longer in her dorm. She stood in a long, candlelit corridor, walls lined with doors that groaned on their hinges. The air smelled of damp stone and something older. Sorrow. The girl appeared beside her, translucent in the flickering light, leading the way. They walked in silence past endless doors until they reached one marked simply, Room of Lost Souls. The girl tugged Jenny inside. The chamber within was circular, with walls inscribed in faded runes. In its center lay an iron-bound chest. Jenny felt drawn to it. The girl pointed. Jenny lifted the lid. Inside lay hundreds of tiny porcelain dolls, faces etched with grief. She gasped, recognizing the same nightgown on one doll. "This was my prison," the girl whispered. She placed a hand on the chest. The dolls trembled, tiles of dust shifting. The room swirled, and a door of light opened across from them. The girl reached for it, her hand passing through Jenny's like smoke. "Thank you," she breathed, voice soft as wind. Then she stepped through the doorway and vanished. Jenny blinked, and she was back in her dorm room. The mirror stood empty. Her phone lay on the floor, battery at 0. She pressed her hand to her chest, feeling real, pounding life within. Everything else felt normal again. But when she looked at her reflection, her eyes glowed faint red. She stumbled back, horrified. And then a whisper in her mind. "Now you can see me." Jenny's scream echoed down the hall, but no one came. She was alone, haunted and changed. And every night when the campus fell silent, she'd hear soft footsteps outside her door and a whisper that chilled her blood. "Don't turn around."